It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
What's going on, Score North? It's Declan Goff here. Changed up the format a little bit on this Sunday, if you will, for Vikings Vent Line. My guy Josh in Denver is going to join us here to talk a little purple on this edition of Vikings Vent Line. Training camp coming up here in a couple weeks, but we still got plenty of stuff to talk about on Vikings Vent Line. If you'd like to be in, by the way, on a future show, shoot me an email, vikingsventline@gmail.com. It's scrolling across the screen there. I'll get you on in the queue and come on one of our Sunday editions here. Obviously, once the football season starts, which is obviously like 2 months from today, July 11th is on this Sunday. So we're knocking on the door of the football season. Training camp's coming up. We're going to have some fun things knocked in. I know Judd's going to be at training camp. Phil and myself and Judd will be breaking all things down. Training camp, I know Judd is very eager to see Dakota Dozier get off this football team. A lot of Vikings fans might be seeing eager to be seeing Dakota Dozier getting off the first offensive line. By the way, if this is the first time you're discovering us, thank you very much. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Again, 7 days a week, we pump out Minnesota Vikings content for you. We're in the off season, but there's still plenty to talk about. We're revisiting some training camp stories with Judd. We've been talking about the best moments, the best games, even the worst moments. Yes, we do have to bring up some of those painfully bad moments. It's okay to bring up the bad times. You gotta forget, but you also gotta remember what it took us for us to get there, because on this show, we want to see the Vikings win a Super Bowl before we die. I think that's a fair ask. I'm 28 years old. I've only seen NFC Championship game. My heart breaks. I've seen plenty of them, and I wanted to see a Super Bowl before I die. That is the mission statement of this show on Purple Daily. All right, enough of the small talk. Let's get my guy Josh in here. Josh is down in Denver. That correct, sir?
That is correct.
And did you were you previously from Minnesota, or how did you stumble into Denver?
No, my family and I have an older brother, an older sister, and a younger sister. Both my parents. We all moved to Denver in 99, 2000. So I was about 8, 9 years old.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you're still able to watch all Vikings games. You said you were able to get to some bars down there. There's obviously is there like a Vikings themed bar, or is it just like a normal bar and you just find the Vikings game on?
Yeah, there's a Vikings themed bar. I haven't went there yet. I can't really go there because my temper flares up during in public, and I don't want to embarrass myself in front of everybody. So I tend to watch it either with my family or at home. You know what? And if I find out that they're winning and I'm not actually watching the game, I'm not going to turn it on. I'm that superstitious. So yeah, no, it's there's a few places you can go. There's a place called Hofbrau around here, which has there's a big Viking fan that owns it, and he has a big skull flag above the door.
Nice.
A lot of signed jerseys inside. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, this Vikings Vent Line experience. I feel like more than 50% of our guests are outside of Minnesota. They're in Colorado. They're in Florida. We've had Kentucky. We've had Tennessee. We've had Washington. We've had people from Canada on. We've even had people. We had Frank, our loyal listener, Frank from Italy on this show before. So, if you will, Vikings Vent Line can be worldwide to a degree. So, appreciate you supporting Score North and getting and watching the purple as well. Considering we want to see the Vikings win a Super Bowl before we die, Josh, I think that's obviously still in your mission statement as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I think about my people in my family that have passed away and they never got to see it.
Right.
And I'm just like, that better not be me. I just really hope that we can make it happen this year. I think it's just as good a year as any.
I agree, man. Well, let's start off with this first question here. This was from Pro Football Focus. The nerds there, they're friends of the show, Eric Eager, Pro Football Sam. There's plenty of them there that have come on Purple Daily before, but they did best and worst case scenarios for every NFL team. They said the Vikings' best case scenario in their simulations is they go 11-6. Their worst case scenarios, they go 5-12. And I feel like the volatility of this season is really palpable. I can see this team winning 11-12 games, and I could see them losing 11 or 12 games. The defense is patchwork. I think it's obviously improved. This offense should be ready to cook like it was last season, no pun intended. And I can see them winning double-digit games, especially, too, if Aaron Rodgers isn't there. But what are you feeling? Do you think the Vikings are more likely that they're trending in that double-digit win territory, or could you see them only winning 5 or 6 games?
Well, when I look at their team this year, they've only improved it. I mean, I don't know what they've really lost. So last year their entire defense was out of commission, right? Everybody was either injured, besides Harrison Smith and I think Anthony Harris. Everybody was either injured or a rookie, and all the rookies didn't get any actual real game experience. So, yeah, I mean, I think that 11 and 6. I said 12 and 5, 11 and 6. I feel like that's way more realistic. Adding offensive line depth as well. Dakota Dozier, I'm from North Dakota, and Dakota Dozier, I mean, just give it up. Please just walk away. Do us a favor. I mean, it's just like that, nagging injury that just won't go away. It's just, So, I don't know. I think 11 and 6 is much more realistic.
It kind of feels like that old ex-girlfriend that just won't leave you alone. Just like, can you leave me alone? Can I move on with my life and let me live my life? Yeah, it happens. I get it, but at the same time, she's not starting on the line anymore. Walk away, go to a new team.
You're not on the priority list anymore.
Exactly. You're not even on the practice squad. You're on a different wavelength. I agree, dude. I think the team can win 11 games. The schedule's tough from an opponent winning percentage wise, but what I really like about it, it's not like last year where in December when the Vikes had to go to Tampa Bay and they had New Orleans, they had like this gauntlet of a schedule to end the season. And I know they dropped the one at the Bears at home, which was honestly kind of more of the dagger than the other two. When I look at the schedule, I think it actually lays out pretty nicely for the Vikings, where there isn't like a stretch of 3 or 4 games where you're on the road or you have like a bunch of gauntlet, horrible, tough opponents. I think mostly they have the tools to win double digits this season.
Well, I mean, they also have the home field advantage situation too, right? I mean, US Bank Stadium Metrodome was known for being one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. So, I mean, with that added in, offensive line depth, I think it kind of falls onto what's going to happen with Danielle Hunter and Anthony Barr. I think is a little overrated. I wish we still had Eric Wilson there, but I mean Anthony Barr I feel like is a little overrated just because like he's not very consistent. He seems like he's just kind of a flashy player. He'll get that fumble every once in a while or that sack at the end of the game, like for example when he injured Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that was more Aaron Rodgers' fault. I mean, come on, dude, drink a glass of milk. But no, I mean, I really think it falls on that, and what's going to happen with Clint Kubiak, because this whole offensive coordinator situation with the Vikings, I don't know what it is with them, but they can't keep an offensive coordinator for more than 1 year. Mm-hmm. And if we get a year out of them, we're lucky. For example, the North Turner situation. So.
Yeah, man. I think the offense should cook. Yeah, Clint Kubiak has some kid gloves on with Zimmer, wanting it to be a run first offense still and run it just like his dad's. But I mean, you got 2 horses in Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Herb Smith should finally break out, not being behind Kyle Rudolph. It's still the offense probably still funnels through Dalvin Cook, but also Dalvin's one of the best backs in the league too. So it's not like they're feeding a beast who is incapable of putting up some big plays. Dalvin Cook's one of the more explosive backs in the league. So I like what the offense can do. You mentioned US Bank Stadium being a loud place to play. 2 questions for you. Number 1, have you ever been to US Bank Stadium? And 2, I know you're in Denver. Did you ever go to Mile High, that stadium in Denver?
Yeah, actually. I went to the last Broncos-Vikings game at US Bank Stadium. Okay. And that was the first time I was there. And, the atmosphere at both places is really nice. I mean, US Bank Stadium is, a decade older than, well, I don't know how old Mile High is, but it's older than a decade to US Bank Stadium. But I mean, US Bank Stadium above Invesco every time. I mean, it's so much nicer. It seems like it has more space. I think it seats less people. But I mean, the atmosphere outside was what really got me. I've been to many Broncos games, and I actually went to the last Broncos-Vikings game that was here, which was actually a preseason game. And I went to the Vikings game before that, which was the Bridgewater versus Peyton Manning game, which ended great. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I had a great time. Just happy to watch the game. But I mean, US Bank Stadium, it just seems like they spend more time on the fanfare. Outside the stadium, there's a lot of things going on for the kids, and you can have a lot of fun outside the stadium with concerts or whatever going on. It wasn't a special weekend by any means, so yeah, I have been to US Bank Stadium,
Yeah, it's
it's called.
Yeah, US Bank, you got it. It's a loud stadium, and the fans are really close to the field. Like you said, outside there isn't the traditional tailgating atmosphere necessarily. There isn't a big parking lot where everyone's just getting hammered and playing beer pong and getting ready for the game. But that US Bank Plaza is cool. They have concerts going on. They have things also around the surrounding areas and the buildings that do makeshift tailgates, so you can still kind of get in on that action. Yeah, man, I love it. I know the outside of it here in Minneapolis, they've replaced the panels again for the 5th time, so it's kind of an eyesore from the outside. But when you're in there, that's all I care about. It's a home field advantage. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, what's really funny in talking about stadiums is, you can kind of sum up what it's like being a Vikings fan and what happened to the Metrodome. I think it was 2010 or 11 or something like that when I woke up one morning and thing collapsed.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, dude, the roof, the whole thing fell over. I think it was either my birthday was the day before or day after. Yeah, everyone remembers where they were when that roof finally caved in after, I believe.
That was awesome.
22 inches, 18 inches or so of snow. It was an absolute blizzard. You mentioned the offensive line depth and that you actually feel pretty confident about it going in. They got 2 rookies now in Christian Darrisaw and Wyatt Davis. And, we obviously made our feelings known about Dakota Dozier. But how confident are you going into this season with the offensive line in front of Kirk?
If my confidence level is based on how good they were last year, I'm 100% confident that they're better than last year. It's really kind of tough to tell because for some reason the offensive line always seems to like to get injured, and there hasn't been a good offensive line in Minnesota for a long time. I don't even know when the last one was. Maybe 2009.
Yeah, probably.
Hutchinson. It wasn't even good with Keenum. So, I'm not 100% confident, as far as, if I think they're going to be top 10 in the league or anything like that. But if they can sit around the 15 mark, and I don't know what they base that off of. Pro Football Focus, it's just they're great in October with 10 seconds remaining in the game. It's I don't know what the stat is, but if they can, be one of the top, and pass protection is the biggest thing.
Yep.
I think, because if you take, I don't want to compare them, but I'm gonna. Kirk Cousins to Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, right? How good are they if they have 0 offensive line? They're not legendary quarterbacks, right? They're not Hall of Famers. There's no way. Tom Brady runs less than Kirk Cousins does. So, it just shows that a guy like him can win the Super Bowl. So,
yeah, if you have the right, I think if you have the right infrastructure around him, man, I think things can absolutely move on. A lot of people have blamed the offensive line for the Kirk era. I understand it. I hear it. At the same time, if you finally have the right pieces to protect him, well, now there's no more excuses. You can't really blame the offensive line if the line is, like you said, 17th to 15th, and it's finally league average or improved for the first time really in the Kirk era. Well, now it's go time, and it's basically there is no more excuses you can really rely on, especially too if the defense is fixed. So that's kind of been our mantra too on this show for the 2021 season of no more excuses, because if you got 2 rookies who are supposed to be good, yeah, 1 injury away from potentially, being disastrous in another Dakota Dozier era. But I'm pretty confident that Darrisaw and Davis step in here and they fix this line.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw something on Mason Cole potentially moving a guard, right? So
he was a better guard with Arizona than he was a center. He was a halfway decent guard in limited snaps.
Right. Is he listed as a center right now? Or?
Yeah, I think he's technically, the backup center, but he's probably that swing man position. I wonder how things will play out in training camp. But I would, if one of the guards in Cleveland or Davis get hurt, I'm hoping it's not Dakota Dozier. So I would like Mason Cole to obviously get the run there before him.
Yeah, I would trust Sean Mannion as a guard over Dakota Dozier. You forget it. I don't want him there anymore. God bless him, but it's not working out. And I just want to get another name in there just to show, hey, we tried, this is
absolutely
really the best option if it comes down to it.
Hey, before I get into this last question, you were talking to me and you were emailing me and we were talking off mic that you're actually a big fan of Kirk Cousins. You're a Kirk Cousins stan and you had some stuff to say about Kirk. So what is it that you really, really like about Kirk Cousins' game?
Well, Kirk Cousins' game. I mean, he's an extremely accurate quarterback. Yeah, he doesn't run. He can get out of. He should be able to get out of the pocket. I feel like, it's really easy to look back at any game or any play and just say, hey, I could have ran out of there. That's what everybody does. But I mean, he's an extremely accurate quarterback. And when I look at him, I look at the past quarterbacks that Minnesota's had, and I mean, yeah, maybe Case Keenum would have done really well, but the fact of the matter is he really isn't starting anywhere right now, right? I mean, he's in Washington? Right. Is he still in Washington right now, or?
No, I think he's the backup in Cleveland. I think he's back up to Baker Mayfield.
Right. I mean, what was it? The stat you guys pulled up, he's like 6th all time or something like that of all in history. Again, another ridiculous stat. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter in October. He's great.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't have those game-winning touchdowns all the time. We talked about the Saints game. Everybody knows that game. But if you look back to last year, how many drives ended with the defense not being able to stop the opposing offense? I think it happened against Seattle. I think it happened against Dallas.
Right.
Defense couldn't stop, really anything against the Saints. And 32 points against the 4th-ranked defense. And, I mean, those weren't garbage time points. That was happening during the game. And I think they actually had the lead going into halftime. And it was just, they couldn't do anything. You can take some of the blame for that, saying that, he wasn't able to sustain drives or anything like that. But when you're playing from behind in like a Gary Kubiak offense, how do you catch up? I mean, it's like you're looking at a Tecmo Super Bowl playbook. There's 6 plays there that I'm going to throw to Jefferson here. I'm going to throw to Irv Smith here. Or, I feel like he has such small options. And I mean, Justin Jefferson getting, however many yards last season, and he had like 41 less attempts or less catches than Diggs. I mean, yeah, I'm a fan of Kirk Cousins because I think, he takes a lot of the blame, but I think there's about 5 games last year you could have put on the defense or special teams. I really don't need to say anything about the Tampa Bay game. Mm-hmm. We all know what happened there. Again, at the end of the half, right? Gronk had that, what was it, a touchdown? How far was that? How long of a throw was that?
It was, I think it was a bomb, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't remember how long it was. I was actually on my way to my friend's house at the time, and my tire blew as it was happening, and I had to fix it on the side of the highway. That was one of the worst days.
Yeah, not a good day, man. Not a good day to be you or Dan Bailey. Both of you had some pretty rough days there. One last question for you, man. Yep. Yeah, absolutely, I can't even change a tire. I'm calling. I pay premium insurance. Yeah. They're coming out to me. They're fixing that tire. I'm not doing anything with it. That's what the roadside assistance is for. Right. Hey, what's one last move too you'd like to see the Vikings make? I think they still got about like $12 or $13 million, in salary cap space. Is there one other move, one other lineman, one other playmaker, one other defensive end? What's one more move you would probably do to improve this team before training camp? First, I'd have to see how much Larry Fitzgerald was getting or what he wants. But my move would be this: I would pay Everson Griffin $4 million to come back. Yeah, I know he said some things about Kirk Cousins, but I've said worse. And then I would give the rest to Larry Fitzgerald to come back. So That's what I would do. Yeah, it would be nice to have him, Jefferson, and Thielen on the same team. And, storybook ending, hopefully. Exactly. I mean, I don't know if he has a ton left in the tank necessarily, but I mean, I'm looking at the third wide receivers. I've have my thoughts on Chad Bibi, but at the same time, I would rather have Larry Fitz. I'd rather have 10% of the tank of Larry Fitzgerald than 100% Chad Bibi. I really would. What is it with everybody in Chad Bibi? I don't get it. They're like, I don't understand it. It's like, did you see him in practice? Like, no, nobody did. Nobody saw that. I swear to God, for the last 3 training camps, it's been look out for Chad Bibi, and that's when. It's not like he's a first round pick and there's been injuries or there hasn't been bad luck. He's a random undrafted dude, and he might be an athletic freak, and he's more athletic than I'll even be on any day. But what the hell? If he's actually really good, we would have seen it by now. I can't wait to watch him fumble another punt or kick off, or, and then he gets that catch at the end of the game against Carolina. Thank God. It's like, come on, it's going to take more than one play to make me
want to be on your side. Like Adam Thielen blocked a field goal or a punt and then ran it back.
Yeah,
it's like something like that. You need to do something like that in order to get on the team. Nothing else. I don't know why you can't use, BC Johnson or somebody like that. But I mean,
I hear you. Yeah, man, Larry
Fitz.
Bring him home.
Larry Fitz. Yeah, bring him home. And I think there's no better way to turn around Minneapolis right now than with the Super Bowl and with Larry Fitz. So I think, that would be a good move.
I love that. Josh, thanks you for coming on. But also, before I wrap up here, I'd like to give the listener 60 seconds for a shout out. You can shout out anyone you want. Make one last take. I'm going to give you the floor here for the next minute if you'd like. Yeah,
I want to shout out to my family in North Dakota right now. All the Olsons and Satrams in North Dakota right now. Love you guys. And hopefully the Vikings win one for us this year. We'll see what happens. Kirk Cousins, don't screw this up. We'll see what happens. No excuses, like Declan said. And, hopefully we can pull out a Super Bowl this year and, before I die.
Yep. We want to see Super Bowls before we die. That's all we want. And everyone else who has passed on, who got to see a lot of Vikings heartbreak, we just want to see this one last time. Just one time, not one last time. And even if I only get one, I'll take it. I'll just take it. I just want one. I just want one.
One more thing.
Yeah.
My aunt, actually, Deb Olson, she made me this little troll here. It's a Viking Stroll.
Okay.
Look at that. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I love
she just
that.
makes these things. She makes them for random people. I mean, a lot of friends of the family, but I mean, she does stuff.
There's not like weird juju with it, right? It's not like a voodoo doll or anything, right? Like it doesn't you don't like yeah, right? Like you don't like pull its hair out when Kirk throws a pick or something. Like you don't. Is it like a stress reliever or anything?
Oh no! I got stools, I got chairs around here that I throw around. Yeah, this place has got
beer bottles, beer cans. You got plenty of things at your disposal to get rid of.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. My hands have been broken so many times over these stools. It's ridiculous. So I don't go to the bar, like I said.
Yeah, man. I don't blame you. Josh, man, thank you so much for coming on Vikings Vent Line this afternoon. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. You said you discovered us from you and your sister over the last 9 months. That's pretty awesome. A cool story there. I love that. So thank you for supporting Purple Daily, man, and coming on the show. We'll get you on again soon. Yeah, absolutely. Love the content, guys. Keep it up. Awesome, man. Vikings Vent Line, this is a wrap. If you want to get in on a future show, shoot me an email, vikingsventline@gmail.com. I'll put you in the queue. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for daily Minnesota Vikings entertainment 7 days a week, and we will see you tomorrow.